If you couldn't federalize elections, well, just fucking fix them from the ground up by revitalizing an old law, an old piece of legislation that was passed during the last most contentious election of all time, the election of 1876, which was marred in controversy. Which I don't know what YouTube's policy when it comes to questioning the efficacy of elections is anymore, but 1876 was a bit of a shit show. So they ended up passing the Electoral Count Act at that time in order to really get to the bottom of different disputes that were happening during different elections. And thanks to the passage of that act and the backroom deals that were made, it led to the formation of the modern Democratic Party. So again, they're just starting to realize that, oh fuck, time's up, and our mass hypnosis is really just starting to wane. So guess what? We're just going to try to fix the system. At least that's what it seems like. Okay, a group of Democratic and Democratic aligned senators on Tuesday unveiled a bill that would make several changes to the 1887. Is that what I said? Because that's the election, because I might have said 76, but 1887, okay, because that was the election of 1886, okay. Electoral Count Act, which Democrats hope will be more acceptable to some GOP moderates. Fuck off. Fuck off. You couldn't get your John Lewis Voting Rights Act, okay? You couldn't get your federalization of all elections out there. Just go around the country and you take a look at the different policies that are falling by the wayside, okay? Mass mail-in ballots, okay? Mass mail-in voting, rather. Sorry, that one's falling apart, okay? Drop boxes out there, just unsecured. Just leave them in parking lots. We just need to make it easy for those damn stupid minorities. That's the opinion of Democrats out there, because they're too stupid to get a fucking photo ID, which all of them have and which all of them overwhelmingly support, okay? Whatever group you want to fucking chop all of these people up into, this is what they think, okay? I don't really care, okay? Just show up with an ID like the rest of the fucking world when it comes to voting. Prove who you are, and then you can vote. Simple as. But that's just too hard for Democrats out there. They keep trying to pass these stupid fucking bills through Congress, and every single time they just get stamped out. So, you know what? As soon as people start to pick this abomination apart, you're going to find similar things, but they're just going to get continuously more desperate as those midterm elections approach. And I don't know if any of these idiots are going to be up there, but I think Dick Durbin is. But of course, whenever you hear something stupid when it comes to fortifying elections, Dick Durbin front and center. And when it comes to complaining about election issues, Amy Klobuchar, guess who's right there? Just ask her about voting machines. But then, hey, you probably won't get a straight answer from her now. Just go ahead and take a look what she was talking about in 2016 for proof of concept on that one. But the draft of the bill was unveiled by Democrat-aligned Senator Angus King, the other independent that's out there. And I guess he's a state mate. Is that the proper terminology of the two senators from Maine? Because who's the other Maine senator? Good old GOP hardliner, or maybe for the context of this article, a moderate out there. Susan Collins. I just want to call her Suzanne Collins. Actually, I'd rather call her several other things, but that's all right for civility's sake. In conjunction with Rules Committee Chairwoman Amy Klobuchar, and Judiciary Committee Chairman Dick motherfucking Durbin, as the leaders of the Senate Rules Committee with jurisdiction over federal elections and members of Senate Democratic leadership, we have been working with legal experts, trust the experts, right, and election law scholars to develop legislation that would modernize the framework of the Electoral Count Act of 1887, which nobody thought of and nobody really brought up prior to 2020. But all of a sudden, oh my God, it's there. And there are things that people contesting elections could do in order to, quote unquote, their words, subvert our democracy. We need to close those up because God knows, just making these fucking knee-jerk reactions always seem to pay off. Like, talk more about destroying the filibuster like you'd never need that in the future. What if something fucked up happens with an election in the future? Let's just say something funny like that could happen. Maybe the next one. Okay. Or maybe certain elections down the line aren't quite as fortified as you thought that they might be. And you might need the power of the Electoral Count Act to help you out down the line. Well, then you torched it. But I guess you just want to make sure that those future elections and those future problems don't happen because you just want to seal up elections totally. You just keep trying it from different angles, and this is how desperate they're fucking getting. amid ongoing contention over potential fraud in a certain election at some point in recent history. We'll go with that. President Donald Trump tried to persuade Vice President Mike Pence to use his role under the original ECA to challenge the results in several state elections that pose the highest risk of widespread fraud. Pence refused, allowing Joe Biden to be confirmed as the president-elect by the Senate. Okay, you know what? The position of the vice president, and therefore the president of the Senate, by the way, is largely ceremonial. So, at least under Mike Pence's interpretation of the ECA, he wasn't allowed to really do anything, but okay, yeah, cool. If you want to be hyperbolic, please also in the same breath tell us more about the importance of the January 6, 2021 commission, because that would be really great. You'd really kill two birds with one stone. Make it three and fire another rocket yourself. The updated ECA would change federal law to significantly lessen the vice president's role over elections. What, like only being number 2 on the ticket? Only like being the most worthless position in all of government? Something like that. I don't really know. In addition, the bill would significantly raise the requirements for members of the House or Senate to simply object to certifying election results, because they don't want to hear about that. They don't want to have anybody ask or question anything that is sacred to our democracy. Trademark. Under the 1887 law, only one member of the House and one member of the Senate need object to the before the objection is moved to a floor vote in the chamber. What's wrong with that? These Democratic motherfuckers were trying this over and over and over again. Okay, you had House members. How many times did Maxine Waters, her specifically, object to any of the electors that were out there for Trump? Okay, for Bush, okay, Pelosi's done it. All of these people are on camera objecting to this stuff, but all of a sudden, no, we just want to get rid of it. Oh, okay, cool. No more checks on democracy. It's just, simple. Fixing the mechanisms to vote, okay? The fixing in just big interpretive quotes on that one. And then once everything's all cast and once everything's all counted, okay, it's just all done. It's all dusted. No further inquiry into any of the processes. Okay, makes sense. Under the new draft of the bill, that would be raised to 1/3 of the Senate before an objection could be moved to a floor vote. Oh my fucking God. Why? Why? Why only the Senate? That's just weird. Because if you were just going to make these arbitrary rules, like you need 1/3 of the Senate, but what are you just trying to outright restrict the lower house of Congress? They just don't have a say in this? Okay. The bill would also narrow the list of potential objections lawmakers can make to certify a slate of electors. Yeah, only Democrats can object to Republican electors. Oh, okay, cool. See if you can just try to slip that in. During the 2020 elections, dispute over election results in various states continued well into December, all the way up to January 6th. Oh my God. Under the ECA revision, future state-level election disputes would need to be resolved by a set deadline. Okay, because they aren't already, or is this just another one of those new laws on the books because people are too stupid to go back and take a look at old laws that are on the books? It's not like that hasn't happened over and over and over again throughout history. The proposal is considered by Democrats to be more palatable to Republicans because you don't want the insurrection to happen again. If the less wide-reaching than Democrats had hoped for. There have been some indications that an ECA reform would indeed be more acceptable to Republicans. Oh, good. Take a look at the list of people who are out there who would just be so far behind that. Oh my God, it would make your head spin. A separate group of lawmakers, so separate, including swing voting Republicans. Unfortunately, he's not swinging like I'd intend him to. It mostly involves a tree. Mitt Romney, Joe Manchin, who I'm fine with because he's just an old school Democrat. Okay, don't expect anything more. Don't expect anything less from him because he's still out there waffling. It's like, I could leave, but then still caucus with you. So what the fuck? You'd be no different than the author of this fucking abomination. And Susan Collins have spent the past several weeks working on their own draft of the ECA revision. Oh, I'm waiting with bated breath to see that one. In addition, Senate GOP leader Gamera has suggested that he may be open to an ECA reform. That's nice. You're going to be retired in about a month, or in a few months anyways, so that'd be fine. About the effort to revise the ECA, McConnell told reporters, I think it needs fixing, and I wish them well in that effort. I'd be happy to take a look at whatever they came up with. I encourage the discussion because I think the current ECA is flawed and Orange Man bad, directly related to what happened on January 6th when the plebs came back to the House. We can't have that again. Stop the Steal protests in the Capitol on January 6th resulted with Ashley Babbitt being shot dead after she was trying to stop people from rioting. One of the most wide-reaching proposals for the majority party as put forward was the For the People Act. See where this salty bitch proposal came from, which would have, among other things, forced states to allow convicted felons, including convicts actively serving on probation or parole, to vote. Makes sense. I think you should have all your rights restored outside of like violent crimes after you've done after you're done serving your debt to society, because this continued punishment doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. But people who are currently on probation or parole, you're still theoretically serving your debt to society, so you probably shouldn't be allowed to vote, at least in my opinion, but that's just me. Critics of the bill, like Senator Ted Cruz and the Federation for American Immigration Reform, also argued that it thought it significantly weakened election security rules. The For the People Act would have effectively given illegal aliens a right to vote. And don't worry if they just want to be illegal in the country and they want to vote. They should go up to New York City. They just allow anybody to vote now. The effort, which had a little chance in any event of making it through the 50-50 Senate, was killed after Joe Manchin mercifully was like, this is nonsense. Since then, Democrats had put forward other proposals to reform federal election laws, but they have thus far been killed by the Republican filibuster. Oh my God. Or just Joe Manchin. As you notice though, where's my moderate? Where's my wine mom? Where's cinema? Oh my God, we need to save cinema. You voted for the People Act, by the way. Moderate Kristen Sinema, by the way. Yeah, definitely didn't start out her life as a socialist. Fuck off. Republicans have argued that the bills were designed to unfairly benefit Democrats over the GOP. Yeah, because they're the ones who complain about election results far more than not. Okay, listen. If you listen close enough, you can probably still hear them complaining about my popular vote. My Hillary Clinton would have won 2016 if it wasn't for the cheating of Donald Trump. And all but one of the bills received no Republican support. Only one bill, a compromise bill spearheaded by Joe Manchin. Oh well, they're just the Republicans are trying to court Joe Manchin. That's retarded. Received any support. Manchin's bill won over swing voting Lisa Murkowski, old fucking blockhead from Alaska. Please be primaried by Sarah Palin. That would be great. Oh, that would just make their fucking heads explode. Mainstream media's, by the way. She's too stupid. She said she could see Alaska from her doorstep. That's retarded. No, you. But that bill failed too to meet the 60-vote filibuster threshold. Yeah. Enacted 10 years after the Electoral College crisis of 1876. I was right when I initially said that. I was just wrong on the date of the bill. Anyways, when states send competing slates of electors to Congress, wow, that was a fucked up election, which I'd love to touch on more. Like the one that I touched, okay. In conjunction with the election of 2020, before YouTube went all fucking totalitarian on just simple discussion about 2020, I dissected the election of 1960, which was just a real goofy election. We'll leave it at that one. Cool. I think that video's still up on Rumble. I'm pretty sure it is. A nice long one that looked there, but comparing and contrasting 2020 or even 1960 with 1876 is fucking hilarious, because that right there, that was a real fucked election that, yeah, was just kind of decided with backroom deals. It's like, okay, you, Andrew, you're gonna have to sit this one out, okay, pal? We're gonna go with a Republican. Oh my God, I forget his name. He was that fat bastard. He only lasted one term, and then that just spurred Andrew Jackson to create the Democratic Party, which has I was gonna say a different LBJ, but Lyndon Baines Johnson came out and took full advantage of. But unfortunately, thanks to these very desperate moves, it looks like their intended idea of having a certain demographic of people voting for them for the next 200 years looks like it's going to fall about 50 some odd years short, because once again, you just keep fiddling with these fucking elections and everything just falls flat on its fucking face. And speaking of things that should fall flat on their face, just take Murkowski, Collins, and Romney and drop them off too, and then just, kick McConnell onto his fucking shell and just watch him kick his little feet for a while. That's about the most enjoyment you can glean from him. But with that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.